Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Graphic, a weekly podcast reviewing games of the Game Pass collection. Bring you three unique perspectives of varying skill range. I am the builder of this episode, Andrew. With me, the sand in your pants, Keith.
Hello.
And the one who's still playing with Lincoln Logs, Liz.
Hey guys.
This week, we played My Time at Sandrock by Pathea Studios? I think it's just called Pathea. But My Time at Sandrock is a third-person action-adventure cozy game where you are playing a builder in a new town called Sandrock. Who would have thought? But you are playing this builder in this town that's essentially on its last leg. Their current builder is retiring, and so you and actually another new builder join the town and try to help build it up and save it from various calamities that happen. If this is also a sequel to My Time at Portia, which My Time at Portia, I think we did our first year of this podcast as well. So this is 2 weeks in a row. We're visiting games that we've done on our first year. But I was so excited this hit Game Pass. I literally, the week before this got on Game Pass, I was so close to buying it because it was on sale. And I knew both me and Liv loved the first one. I just never bought it because I was like, I don't have time for this game. I can't play it. And then sure enough, as soon as I didn't buy it, it appeared on Game Pass. I was so excited. It's like, sweet. Now we can do an episode on it. So here we are. But going around, Keith, was this a gamer pass for you?
I kind of wish I remember what I gave for the first one.
Liz, did you look it up?
I feel like at the least, I know that there was parts of it I didn't like, but that's because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, you kept building one furnace.
Yeah, exactly. So this time I built two, so I think I liked it twice as much. But the reality is, no, I actually really did enjoy my time at Sandrock. And it's still a builder. It's still not the thing I'm clamoring to play more of, but and I still kind of have my same ultimate kind of issues with playing it, but nonetheless, I actually did enjoy it. And there's a lot of just things going on that it doesn't feel like I'm constantly building, but it is a lot of collecting. So it's any builder game. So it is a game.
It's a definite game for me. Obviously, I love cozy games like this. And I thought that there was a lot of quality of life things in this game. I mean, I'm also comparing it to other cozy games where it's just we'll get into it later, but it's not having to have stuff on your person when you're, doing missions and stuff. There's so many little things that I just really love and appreciate. And yeah. Yeah,
this game's full of quality of life stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things in other cozy games, there's better combat in some, there's better, we'll get into it later, but it's not all around perfect game, but let me tell you, it's one of my top games of the year. It was a blast.
Did you remember the first one, Liz?
Yeah, and there was something about it that I kind of wanted to stop playing, where this one, I think I like more.
Because I every time I mentioned it, I was like, oh, do you think I should buy My Time at Sandrock? You love My Time at Portia. You're always kind of like, meh.
There was something about My Time at Portia that made me stop playing it. That I just kind of got sick of, or I don't really remember what it was. But this game, I forgot. I always remember when we record. Tonight, I forgot, and I was so bummed because I was like, I wanted to play it tonight.
But for me, I'm actually going to give this a definite game. This is actually, I would say, one of the top cozy games. This is really good. It's really fun. Because also subsequently, we will also be reviewing, kind of at the same vein, My Time at Sandrock Online. As far as I can tell, I think this just launched. The online portion just launched not too long ago. But the online version you can play with 3 other friends. It's obviously online. It's really good. It's not just, hey, you're playing the same game, but with more people. It actually changes things up pretty significantly to actually be kind of refreshing. So yeah, this is a really good game. I had a lot of fun with it. Whenever I play these cozy games too, it's like a sprint for me. I try so hard to be maximize everything I can do. So I feel like I'm just going so fast in this game, but yeah, this is a lot of fun. But yeah, so we'll get into this, and thank you so much to our sponsor Magic Mind for sponsoring this episode. Please make sure you use our promo code GameP20 to get a discount. But getting to the story though, of My Time at Sandrock. As I said, surprisingly for a cozy game, you do not have a dead relative dying and you're inheriting their farm. So already the game gets a couple points for that. So thank you for changing up the story a little bit. The story is just as basic though, but I actually kind of like, it's very much just, hey, this town's about to die and we need a new builder. So we're accepting applications. And so you hit him up. You're like, okay, cool. I'll be your new builder. And you enter this town with another new builder. This is another thing I really liked about this story. In almost every game, you always have some sort of Pokemon Ash versus Gary kind of, nemesis system where you have someone who always thinks they're better than you. Every like cozy game I feel like has this, but once in this game, they don't have it. Instead, there's a new builder who's with you and she's like, we're going to be best friends. So it's like, oh, this is a change of pace as well.
And she's so nice.
Yeah. There is kind of a jerk guy, but he's your boss. And it's just, he's more of a jerk because he's lazy and greedy, but he's not really so much a jerk to you. But I was like, oh, this is actually a change of a pace for a cozy game story. But yeah, I actually was enjoying this story because it's still nothing to write home about, but it was a change of pace.
Yeah, I really like some of the characters so far. There are some that I just don't really like that, because
Miguel.
A couple of the girls, I think, which is the one that you're romancing?
Venti?
Oh, no, not her.
You mean Amira?
She's all right. I haven't really talked to her that much. Yeah, Amira, I'm not a huge fan of. But I feel like the guys in this are, like, the guy characters are a little better.
Yeah, they are. I even I'll admit that.
So, obviously, like, is it Burgess or Burgess?
It's Burgess, but they pronounce it Burgess. But they also pronounce Tidy Heedy. So
okay.
They kind of pronounce names all over the place.
I would have thought it was Burgess.
Yeah, but they pronounce it Burgess. Burgess.
Yeah, that's what I would have said was Burgess, not Burgess.
I always pronounce it Burgess.
I can't even remember the spelling.
Mr. Burgess? It's not Mr. Burgess.
I don't know.
That's a good point. But then again, it's kind of one of those Caribbean. Like they're both kind of, I feel like a true pronunciation depending how you say it. Like it's Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know about, but I at the least, yeah, I would guess if you were to look up the name Burgess, it would be Burgess, not Burgess.
Well, B. And then I also
call him Berg.
really like Justice and Owen, and I feel like there's so many good characters in the town that when you meet someone who's just like selfish or rude, you're just like, thanks, I don't want to hang out with you.
Like Cooper was, I think, the worst. I did not like Cooper.
Oh, and also the researcher. He's a bit short. Yeah, like he's a bit short. He's not very like friendly.
Physically short?
No, like short when he speaks to you.
Say you got a little heightism in you.
I don't even remember his height.
He's a scientist. He's a man of few words if it's not about science.
Oh, and what about the clinic guy?
Fang.
Who like lets his bird talk for him and then had you do all these experiments on yourself? Like I don't know. I'm not too keen on him either.
So I didn't honestly get into much of the relationship building. That's usually the last thing I do in any of these games. Well,
you're playing it wrong then, Keith.
I mean, we know this. That's not news because even in all of the other things I was doing, I was probably doing those things wrong too. But yeah, I would say, I was trying to think, who was it that I didn't like? I think you said it. I think it was Miguel. Is he the pastor or whatever?
He has a butt chin and he's really has like a sneer look on him.
Yeah, I didn't like him at all when I talked to him. So I went out of my way to not talk to him.
Yeah.
I like that they actually give hints on gifts. I feel like a lot of games don't really give that many. So, there's one guy, he works at the salvage yard. And
Rocky.
Yeah, he keeps asking for the bronze bars. And he was talking about how him and his sons love Yakimo milk. And so I'm like, well, I know what to get you. It was a like, not a love, but I still appreciated it. I will say, Andrew, getting to what you were just talking about, like, oh, you're doing it wrong. I like that when I started this game, I knew like commissions are always important for relationship building, for money, but I didn't want to do that at first. I like to just go my own pace and do my own thing at the beginning. And I mean, obviously I'm doing it now, better late than never. But I just think it's funny that I knew the way to go about it, but I still just didn't do it because I wanted to play it the way that I wanted to. And that's what I like about games like this. Like there's the big missions that you don't really have to, there's no big deadline, which I feel like the first one. What?
The main missions?
Yeah, which I feel like in My Time at Portia, the main missions did have deadlines.
No, they didn't.
I thought they were like 25 days.
No. Because like, what would they do? Make you fail the game?
Give you countdowns to like when things were going to happen more than anything.
I'm pretty sure there was no deadline for the main story in the first one.
But the commissions, you get a couple days for them. I never felt like pressured, except I just had a day where 5 people asked things of me, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get to the person to give my commissions, and everyone's talking to me. Oh, I got
the blue missions are like side missions. Some of those can be timed, but the yellow ones are story missions. Those aren't timed. And then the commission ones are always timed. So they do kind of vary, but I do agree. I do feel like this game is a little bit easier paced and everything is just way closer, which was super nice. The town itself is just nicely layered. So I'm not walking around this town so much. Like I remember My Time at Portia, it had a giant wall. It was really kind of hard to find things. It took forever to just navigate the town. But this is another one of the quality of life things.
Even I know where things are.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, which I went to.
Your navigation skills are rough.
I went to the doctors today, and
real doctors, real story.
Yes, yeah, real story. Sorry.
And
so like I've been going weekly for NSTs, and so the woman was like, "Oh, I'll meet you at the NST room," and I was like, "Which room is that?" And she's like, "How many times have you been here?"
You literally have been there.
I was like,
week.
You know what? I know where the important places are, like the bathroom. So, but it was like, I mean, I don't memorize where rooms are. It was a little embarrassing though.
It is funny if like too, like we've been living in this house for 2 years and you still like don't know the street, our street to turn on unless you have your GPS. There's a lot of times like, do you know where we are right now? You're like, no. I'm like, we're by our house.
I always need my GPS for everything. I think I can get to CVS without it.
Which is literally down the road in one turn. That's literally all it takes to get to CVS.
It takes 6 minutes to get there.
But it's one turn.
But in all fairness,
turn the other way.
That's the thing too. It is you either go left or right. That's it. And so I guess that is the option. If she went right, she would have gone the wrong way.
I will say though, so the city that we live in though, there's so many little shopping areas that it can get a little confusing. But like I mean, today I was like, I'm gonna go to this grocery store instead of the one in my GPS, and I knew about where to go. And then
the general area, it's somewhere in this town.
Yeah, and I found it.
Good job.
Thanks.
But so with the story, obviously there's not too much, but yeah, I want to go more to the, I guess, relationship building. This is the only thing I remember I didn't like about the first one. Like generally in cozy games, relationship building stuff kind of sucks. Like it's always work. And unfortunately, this is the same thing. To me, it still is a lot of work in this game. It's a lot of just, hey, here's a gift. I'll see you tomorrow. Bring you the same rack I gave you today, just so I can keep getting points. They brought the dating play sessions again back from the first one, and just those aren't interesting. It's very much just let's go to a diner and I'll just hit A at a couple things and there you go. I got some points from you.
Which I love that you didn't notice that there was like a checklist.
I
showed you.
That list, actually another thing she was observant on. She's like, oh, did you know you're supposed to do those things on the diner? I was like, no.
But it was also confusing because the first time that you do that, it's like 2 other people, like friends meeting up, and it says, oh, don't get the most expensive thing on the menu, but the person sitting with you order for them, and it says like has to be more than $40 or whatever. And so I'm like, wait, so what do I do?
Oh, I loaded. I literally bought all the expensive stuff. I literally clicked everything.
You also did like negative comments, right?
Yeah.
You got negative points.
I played around with that. So you do obviously have dialogue options, and you can lose respect from people. So you can't make people hate you.
I'm sorry. I keep going to gameplay and you're trying to talk about relationships.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it's all kind of part of
gameplay.
it.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess one thing about the story that I don't know if you got to at all, and maybe it's just like a weird means to an end, but what is the telesis thing they keep talking about?
Oh, thank you for bringing this up. So they said this as soon as you land, they're like, bring telesis to the land. Both me and Liz. I actually was like, Liz, do you know what that means? She's like, nope. Apparently, I think some developer at the studio had like that as their word for the day, and they're like, this is a good word, let's keep putting it in. Everyone keeps saying telesis. I looked it up. It means to bring like growth in the community, like using kind of like good practices. So like, smart choices, like ecological choices and like technology. And that's kind of what it means. But literally everyone says it. It's a
I thought it was
non-stop
some
word.
Like magical force.
No, it's a word.
It was
it's a real word.
thing. Well,
yeah, constant. You brought telesis. Hope you bring more telesis. Look at all the telesis you did. And it's like, okay.
I don't remember what the word that Liz taught us was. I've already forgotten it, but telesis is now the new
hackles.
Hackles. Liz, yours weren't going up when I was talking about it.
I know. I had no idea what you're talking about.
Well, now we're going to bring telesis to this podcast.
I also thought it was interesting that they talk about going to Portia, but obviously Portia, there's a ton of water. And they have no water, but they're like, it is like life and death if we, something happens to the water supply, if like something happens to the food and stuff. And it's like, but you do go back and forth with Portia.
They do have a train.
I wonder how far away it is what I guess I'm getting at.
The way I understood it is that it's not that they can't get water from anywhere else. It's just they try not to because it's really expensive to do. So rather than do that, they just try to preserve their own water that they have and take care of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It takes great telesis to preserve your own water. So that's why they're doing that. Well, there is a point where the train isn't working anymore. So then it is kind of an emergent situation.
Well, and there's that too. Well, so that's, I think this is where I didn't get very far anywhere I played because I just kept bouncing back and forth between online and solo because I would kind of get bored with one because even when I like a builder game, I kind of just get bored. I just feel like it's too slow. I'm like, I need to do something different. So then I'd go play the other one for a little bit. But in the co-op or online version, basically everything's just broken from the start. You just show up and you and your co-op team are like, we're going to bring telesis to this town together. And then when you play solo, it introduces you. Everything's great. You're just going to be, moving into the old builder's position to keep things going as they were. But then things start to go wrong and it gets worse. And then you have to keep up with it and kind of make things better. Is that?
Well, the online, I think it is a prequel. I think it takes place before technically the main game comes.
So these group of builders are there.
Yeah.
They make it good.
They make it more livable. And then I don't know what happens to them. But I couldn't quite tell. When I was playing again with Liz, I was trying to look for like cues of where this is taking place. I think it's either a prequel or it's like epilogue. I think it's a prequel though.
Yeah, I mean,
we played that one time with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say in any case, I mean, they definitely treat it as a multiplayer game and like in the sense that it's like, oh, you and your friends are gonna help rebuild this. Like it doesn't try to frame it as the same as the solo game by any means. It's definitely different. So I just assumed it was the same thing where it just swapped you and friends instead of solo, kind of.
But who are you guys trying to romance this time around?
I mean, I didn't really talk to anybody. I mean,
you wanted Trudy, Keith, but Trudy's not available.
Yeah, it was really a shame.
Trudy again?
Well, you haven't met Trudy's the mayor. She's an older lady.
Oh. Do you know what? I used to work with a woman named Trudy, and she was a delight. She was an amazing woman. So I can see Trudy's are, I guess, great.
I think if you're given the name Trudy, you immediately age to like 72. You just start at 72 and you don't get any younger.
Same with like Agnes.
That's
actually getting more popular now.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, we liked Eleanor. And that one, I think, kind of would have the same feel.
Yeah.
But there's
nicknames Trudy you can do for that when they're a kid. Yeah. I feel like there's no nickname for Trudy. There's no real nickname for Agnes unless you go Aggie. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I also wanted to. Oh, well, I'll get into that after. Answer your question.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I think Justice, Owen,
but you never committed to anyone.
Burgess. No, I mean I don't. I'm not really like dating anyone in the game yet or anything. I feel like I'm still. You're way further than I am.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, and I've mostly been playing my own game, not our multiplayer, which I love both, but I figured, like, you were working a bunch, so it's like I might as well just play my game. So for me, yeah, I mean, I'm liking a lot of the guy characters, not so much the ladies. Although Mianne, I like her.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yep.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you, Andrew, so last time I saw you playing, there was something going on with like Logan's backstory. He's the bad guy that you don't really see much. There's wanted posters and everything. How long do you find out more with that?
I mean, it's my main story thing, so I'm assuming I'm going to find out soonish.
Oh, okay. So Andrew, you started romancing someone that you don't like.
Yeah, no, this game throws some thirsty people at you.
Yeah, who would you?
Well, I mean, obviously you can still break up with people, so I might break up with her. But yeah, this game, there's a very thirsty male and a very thirsty female. So if you want an easy relationship, they give you two options. Like they like throw themselves at you. Like I wasn't doing anything with these characters, and they're just like, "I want to date you," and I was just like, "Okay." Got that achievement because it's an achievement to have a significant other. So I was like, okay, achievement unlocked.
Okay.
But no, you're right though. Like a lot of the girls, like some of their stories are kind of lame. I first was like going for Mira, but literally her whole story is, oh, I'm so pretty and everyone loves me because I'm so pretty and I'm such a good person at making pottery. And I'm just like, okay, you kind of suck. And then I was like, oh, maybe Katori. But then it was like, oh no, she left her husband and ditched her kid to start an entertainment business in the desert. And I was like, okay, that's kind of lame. I'm not really interested in that. But literally, I was flirting with everyone because it's great when you have the dialogue options. It gives you a symbol saying like, oh, this is a flirting option. So I literally was just flirting with everyone and no one got mad at me. Like, hey, you're flirting with other people. Even when I was dating, I'm just like, all right.
I haven't gotten that pop up yet.
Really?
I might be wrong, but I don't remember. It took me a while to really do like commissions and stuff and build the beginning stages of the relationship. So maybe that's why.
No, but it always made me laugh because I even flirted with Chi and he just, I swear, Chi also was annoying to me. He was the scientist guy. I swear they were just trying to design him off of what's his name from the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon. Like he's essentially that character. Of like, oh, I'm so smart and everyone's kind of dumb and always using big words. No one understands me because I'm so smart. And like, so I tried flirting with him and he obviously didn't pick up that I'm flirting with him. And I was like, oh, okay.
Keep my options smart open. Things to him.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that there's also a Linus-esque character. What's his name? Is it M. Morton? Is it Morty? No.
Linus?
From like Stardew. He's like the older man that takes care of the graveyard.
Oh, Mort. Yeah.
Mort.
Which is ironic. Yeah. Mort, I'm assuming is a mortician because he works in the graveyard.
Oh. But I immediately was like, oh, I want to be friends with him.
Can I date him?
I figured you wouldn't be able to. I didn't even look.
I don't think you can. But you love the older men.
He just seems so nice.
He literally hangs out with dead people. Yeah. But the one thing I thought was significantly improved to this game, though, is the combat. In the first one, the combat I felt like was more, there was a lot more of it, which I didn't mind. But this one, it seemed more focused. Like I didn't feel like there was as many dungeons I had to do. I didn't have to keep repeating and seeing the same dungeons over and over again. But the combat just felt so much more smoother and tight. Like you actually have your basic attacks. You have 4 basic weapons of a dagger, a sword, a great sword, and a spear. But there's also different ones like a hammer you can get. There's also pistols you can get. And you have a dodge. You do have a stamina bar. But the combat it felt so much better.
I don't really remember my time at Porsche combat. But the stamina bar, I feel like, is actually pretty good for, like, especially starting out with the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of resources that you have to get. And then when you start mining, and I feel like they actually started you off with quite a bit. I mean, obviously, I wanted more, but do you stamina for fighting?
A little bit. But you have, like, a different stamina bar when you roll. So it's like, it doesn't actually take away your, like, yellow stamina. It's like a different stamina bar you can do.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back of, like, my time at Porsche Combat. From what I remember, I did a lot of, like, I think I had, like, boxing gloves, I feel like, all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, I never remember having a lot of weaponry, but I didn't get very far in that. I by any means. I had a sword and shield in this one, and I never really developed any other weapons because, again, I just kept going back and forth between the two.
I like the daggers.
The daggers are their throwing weapon, right?
No, it's just 2 daggers.
Oh, okay.
I started with the spear, and then I had to make
a sword and shield.
Yep, for Burgess. I'm like, I don't even want to say his name anymore because I keep getting confused.
Just call him Bergie.
Bergie. And so I started using that, and I just stuck with it.
Which Bergie reminded me of Carl from Jimmy Neutron. Did you either of you guys watch that show?
Yeah, I can see that.
The way he talked, the way he acted.
It's the long, symmetrical, skinny legs.
Yeah.
With just a tomato body on top.
Yeah, his body looked like it. And then just the way he talked, he was always super friendly and jolly. Like, we need to give flowers to people. It's like, this kind of reminds me of Carl.
I also wanted to say that, like, kind of combat related, I always felt bad killing the animals because unless it was a sandstorm, they were all nice except for the
chickens.
Oh yeah,
the ants were friendly.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, the chickens. And so I felt bad like fighting them. And I also with like the yakmals, they're so big that when I first needed to kill one, I was nervous. I was like, that's gonna pump. There's like 5 of them. And then so I picked them off like when they were like by themselves, like if one got separated. And then I just like attacked them when they were sleeping because I was afraid that they would all charge at me.
I love Lizzie. I feel bad killing the animals, so I killed them in their sleep.
Yeah, and then because
picked them off one by one.
I was like, if I attack them during the day, do they all just charge me? And you said no, and I was like, oh.
I felt bad killing these animals, so I thought of devious plans to murder them solo.
It seemed more humane in my mind, but obviously it was not.
I mean, when Andrew and I were playing, that was basically what I did for the first 20 minutes. I just ran around attacking yakmals.
Well, it was funny. I remember you, Keith, going, ooh, rocket roosters. And you start fighting, you're like, oh, God, he's shooting rockets at me. Why did I not think about this?
It's like, yeah, that probably should have been obvious to me before I which I did like. And you said that they did this in my time at Porsche too, and I forgot as well. But I like that every animal or enemy you fought had like an alpha version with a fun name. So instead of the rocket roosters, it was the cockadoodle doom.
Cockadoodle doom.
Some of them were boring. Like I think the Yakmel was just like an alpha Yakmel or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, the cockadoodle doom is my favorite.
Yeah, the ants are called like bubble ants, and then which they have like a honey pot on their head, and then there's the hot honey.
Honey barbecue.
Yeah, honey barbecue ant.
This should be hot honey. That would have been.
I thought it was hot honey because then he threw fire at you.
No, it's honey barbecue. I think they're still throwing flaming honey at you, but
then there might be another one then because I could have sworn that it might be hot honey barbecue.
Maybe
because I'm in a different area. I think there's a different area of them.
I was thinking of barbecue chips now.
That does sound good.
But the boss fights are way more interesting in this one. Like they're actually like interesting bosses. In the first one, they were just sponges. They were just big guys that did some telegraphed moves, but it was just kind of boring. And this one, like I fought a giant cat generator. I don't know why it was shaped like a cat that like kept spinning around. And so you had to like hit its weak points while it was spinning. But yeah, the boss fights are actually a little more interesting. Not that many. There's, like I said, there's not as much combat in this one, but that was fine. But this game's full.
Just mash X.
Yeah, and dodge. That's usually all you got to do. You don't have to do anything too fancy. But yeah, this game is just full of quality of life things. I love it. As Liz said, you don't need to have things on your person as long as it's on your property in a chest. So literally just build a billion chests, throw all the crap you have in there.
I sorted my chests at first. Then Andrew's like, what are you doing? And same with just go to one. And I didn't realize it auto sorted them to all of them. Like it just put them all away. Yep. I didn't realize that. I thought it just did it for like the one chest. So yeah, I'm glad that you told me that because I would have wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, you do this like with so many cozy games, and it's so funny seeing us how we play. Like I said, when I play a cozy game, I'm like, how quick can I do this? I want to beat this game by the end of year 1, which I kind of did with like Coral Island. But I mean, obviously I know more stuff gets unlocked, but all in all, I completed like majority of the last dungeons and stuff before year 1. So that's what I was doing in this game. And yeah, my boxes are just full of garbage. Liz is like, oh, this is all my trinkets. This chest over here is all my food items. And I'm just like, no, just shove it all in. I'll figure it out later.
Organizing though. Especially in video
so
games.
much time.
Like I enjoy it though. Like I'd rather, do what I want.
I mean, and the nice thing is the autofill feature or auto sort is so that once you have it all set up that way, you can very easily just walk up, press one button, and it's all sent off to the box. So that is nice and always appreciated in any builder game. But it forces you to build all of your storage within the confines of your farm or ranch. Right. So, and everything is accessible from the boxes. So there's no reason to ever actually keep anything on your person.
Unless you're giving,
obviously for gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Gifts is the only thing.
Outside of that, there's realistically no reason to do anything. So then the autofill and the sorting, just dump and run.
Yeah. That's what I did.
I've no judgment, Liz, because if it makes you happy,
Well,
how you play games, how you play. Like, honestly, I know it doesn't bother me. That's one reason that I'm like, nope, I'm not going to bother with all
that's what Liz got to say it.
Nice way for me to not do it.
When Andrew told me that it does auto sort for all of them, when I thought it was just for like the one chest. So I'm not doing it anymore, but I kind of got in the habit with games like Stardew, where it's like you have a chest for all your, your iron and your all that kind of stuff, the mining stuff.
Yep.
So I feel like in some games it's actually very beneficial to organize it, which Andrew never organizes chests ever in a video game.
I love it. It's so funny. But now Liz kept saying that when I'm like, Liz, you are so like, you're not efficient. And Liz is like, I'm having fun. This is the important part of playing a video game. I'm having fun.
It's funny
not
because
wrong.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, you're not wrong. I was like, but it's so frustrating to watch.
It's like that in real life though, too, because it's, whenever Andrew puts the dishes away for me, which I love and appreciate, but it's just like, where would Andrew put a vegetable peeler? It's nice to see like how his mind works with that. So
what a positive spin on that, Liz.
Same with like my spatulas. I'm like,
I just get to learn how Andrew's mind works.
No, it's positive now. But the first handful of times I was doing it, she's like, do not know where the vegetable peeler goes.
But then I realized you don't cook. Why would you know where a vegetable peeler was?
I don't know, but you'd still yell at me for it. You're like, would you rather I don't put the dishes away? And you're like, oh, that's a good point.
I do think it's funny that we've lived here for 2 years and you still every single time put the vegetable peeler in the wrong area. And the spatulas.
It goes where the utensils are, right?
No.
Oh, well, it's a utensil.
I guess it depends on what kind of utensil we're talking about here.
It doesn't go with the forks and spoons. Like it goes with like the
handheld
lemon
tools
squeezer.
Go in the utensil drawer.
No, it goes in like the lemon squeezer and the spatulas and the stuff that you use for cooking.
Handheld kitchen tools.
Yeah.
But I also keep our vegetable peeler up because our 2-year-old will grab anything, and if he can reach the vegetable peeler, I don't want him running around with that because he'll attack somebody with it probably.
I cannot tell you how many times I've cut myself with a vegetable peeler. Not a knife. I mean, I have with a knife too before. I shouldn't be allowed in the kitchen. But with a vegetable peeler, that and the cheese grater, I cut myself all the time. And I got our daughter a cut glove and her own little kid peeler, and it actually works. And she's never cut herself. I'm like, I need to get myself a cut glove.
Well, that's why I got you kind of a new safety peeler thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're always more likely to cut yourself with a dull knife than a sharp knife. And I mean, not that every vegetable peeler is dull, but they're not always super sharp. So you're like aggressively peeling whatever. Yeah. And then you catch yourself. Same with like a grater, because they're not inherently built to be super sharp. They serve a purpose pretty effectively.
Never thought about that. It's a good life lesson there. It's the dull knives that'll get you.
It's true. And part of it too, it's almost like I don't know if the full logic is this, but it's almost, I think of it, it's almost like a loaded gun. Like you're more cautious with it because you're like, oh, this knife's super sharp. I need to be cautious. Where if it's not super sharp, you're not as wary of the blade and you're going to be less cautious of it, but it'll still cut you.
That's also a very good point. I see so many gunshot wounds from people who are just cleaning their guns. Granted that maybe that's just the story they always say, but seriously, so many people are like, I was just cleaning my gun. I shot myself in the leg. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there's plenty of that because that's why the first thing they teach you in anything about a gun or should be taught about a gun is
always assume it's loaded.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a fun little, our life pro tips for it.
Life lessons with Game Pass Grandbag.
But speaking of pro tips, I texted Andrew about this one. I don't know if he told you, Liz, or not, but one I found in this game that's pretty nifty is that you can auto run. So you can just click down on your left stick and have your sprint toggled on, and then all you have to do is move your right stick to move around. So I thought
actually didn't use. I only used that like once.
I did because I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like it's so much easier now, but I liked it.
I don't think I tried it, but it is nifty that it's there.
Another great quality of life thing, though, go to the settings, and I recommend turning run. It's usually on holding the button. Turn it on toggle. Makes it so much easier. But also in the settings, I don't know why they don't have a tooltip for this, but there's actually a time adjustment. So if you're playing early in the game or later in the game and you're like, the day's taking too long or the day's too short, you can change it. You can actually make the in-game timer go slower or faster. When I first started this game, I had it going at 1.5, so it's slightly faster because I was burning through my energy real quick, obviously trying to set everything up. And I was like, well, ready for bed, ready to do this, have all my machines work faster. It was great. But now that I'm farther in the game, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to slow down the time a bit more. Awesome feature. I don't know how more cozy games don't have this. It's so nice having it. But unfortunately, life isn't, like a video game. And, sometimes you have a hard time managing your time. But thanks to Magic Mind, you can help improve your time management. So Magic Mind is a 2-ounce mental health booster, which helps improve your focus, helps improve your energy, and helps you get your stuff done, get your to-do list done. Me and Keith have been taking Magic Mind for about a month now, and I've noticed significant improvements. I've been able to do so much more on my to-do list. It's great. So even though I can't adjust time in real life, I can improve my time management with Magic Mind. I've been able now to get the kitchen done, and now I'm working on the bathroom. We just found out we got to replace our toilet, so that's fun. that really stinks.
Your house is the bbest.
I know. It's just like everything keeps breaking. I mean, yeah, like a week ago, we had to replace the air condition. That was a nice bill.
Took them 5 visits to fix it.
Unfortunately, can't repair my air conditioning. No amount of Magic Mind's going to help me learn how to fix an air conditioner. But I think I can repair my toilet, so we're going to find that out soon. But yeah, I've been able now to handle my to-do list so much better. I've been able to get my work done at work when I'm, doing third shift. It's been keeping me awake and alert. I'm able to knock out all my work's scheduled stuff. It's great. If you are interested, go to magicmind.com/GameP and use your promo code GameP20 to get either 48% off a subscription or 20% off your first time purchase. And they offer a 100% guarantee for the first 100 days because they believe in their product. I believe in this product. It's great. It's been working wonders for me. So check it out. So yeah, having this game just is full of settings and quality of life stuff that is it's so convenient. And even transfers over into how the online too is awesome. Like you don't get as many chests, but the chest is shared. And so Keith could have been in town and he was like, oh, I need bronze bars. And I'm like, oh, I'll put them in the chest for you. I drop it right in the chest. Keith has the bronze bar. He's able to turn them in for the quest that we need. I like this Pathea, the studio here, did a fantastic job with quality of life stuff. And to me, that's what makes or breaks a cozy game. If you have really tedious stuff and you don't simplify the busy work, such as sorting, time management, you're not going to have a fun time. But there was very little in this game where I was like, oh, I wish this was better. The only thing that I will complain here that I wish they fixed from the first one. I hated this in my time in Portia and they still have it. There's a museum and you're collecting these old world relics. Oh yeah, we forgot to tell, this game takes place far in the future after the world kind of collapsed. So it's like civilization rebuilding. So you go to these dungeons to find these relics, but you find pieces of relics and it's random. So it's not like, when you go to a dungeon, it says, oh, you have a chance of these pieces of relics of dropping. These relics just take up inventory space. I have three bases of a DNA model. And it's unless you get all the pieces and create the DNA model, which you can only donate to the museum once, I have just chests full of random pieces of relics. I wish they simplified this. I hated that it's still in the game. That's my one thing that I really hate about this. You can, I think, when they're assembled. I don't think you can sell the pieces.
Oh, okay.
I haven't tried.
But I recall seeing a sell value on them in the store.
I've sold completed ones. I've sold completed ones that I've already donated to the museum.
That is weird that you just keep getting duplicates. I would think you would get at least I don't know.
Yeah, it would be cool if you just got one
or something.
Yeah, cool. You got the base. There you go. You're not going to give me any more bases. All done. That would have been great. It would have been a cool now collecting thing, but no, it sucks. It's
But I
just
also feel like
backspace.
it makes it feel more random, though.
Well, though, I don't know. Like, what was the water one we did recently? Wasn't really a builder game, but it was
Coral
like,
Island.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of them they have museum, and you have to catch a white butterfly and turn in the white butterfly, but you can only turn it in once. But you can keep catching a white butterfly over and over again, and then sell.
But they would
it
tell
or
you,
give
"Hey,
some-
you already donated it."
Oh, so it doesn't even tell you that you donated it?
No,
Oh.
not that I saw.
Well, that's kind of annoying. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's just kind of a common cozy game thing where it's just you collect things, turn them into some sort of a collection, museum, library, whatever, and continue to collect all those things over and over again.
I just hate how much space it's taking up in my inventory. I have so many pieces of relics that I don't want.
You can also, I think, drop stuff.
You can.
So you could just do that.
Stop giving me solutions, guys. I want to complain.
Well, it's hard to find things to complain about with this game because it's so awesome. Another thing
I
really liked.
We'll get into it. Go ahead, Liz.
Another thing I really liked is the skill tree.
Yep.
There's some usually I just like look at the first couple and pick the direction. I actually paid attention this time and I got some good ones. And like, I love that I can stay up till 3 a.m. now. That's a great one.
In real life or in the game?
Not in real life. Nope.
And 9 o'clock hits and you're like, I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
Like you said that as you looked at the clock.
I did look at the clock when you said that. But I like that too, that when you get a skill point, it goes to, there's like, I think 4 categories.
Yep.
And so it's kind of nice.
There's production, combat, social, and general.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise to see which one you get. I mean, usually if you're fighting, you're gonna open up the combat one, but yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of 2 different like experience points you're getting. You're getting experience points for your character level, which every time you do that, it just increases your overall damage, increases your overall health, increases your overall stamina. Like it's general, just your character got a little better. And as Liz said, like it doesn't even give you a notification, but as you're just mining, you'll notice a light bulb symbol, meaning, hey, you have a skill point now. So you have like 2 different skill trees. So it's not like, oh, you leveled up, here's a skill point, put it where you want. No, it's like as you're doing the thing, as you're doing social stuff, you'll get a social skill point to now improve your social stuff. Really nice system. I like that.
I also like too that the furniture in your house gives you.
They did in the first one too. They give you buffs.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of cozy games don't do that.
Yeah,
it's just cosmetic.
Yeah,
and I really enjoy that because it's exciting when you get something for your house.
Makes you put effort in actually designing your house.
I will say something that I was really confused about. So I just talked to Amira, and I think she gave me a ceramic vase thing, and then I went to my furnace, and all of a sudden, I had like 10 in my inventory, and I don't know if I made them or not, or if she gave me 10. Have. But does that happen instantaneously? Because it's in the furnace. Usually the furnace takes a while to make stuff. Or maybe I'd done it before and it was just
I think you did it before and you didn't notice.
And I was so confused. I was like, do I sell these? Do I put them all in my house?
There's so many pots.
I had a feeling it was something that I did, but I was like, okay then.
I did. I was just saying, going back a little bit on the experience, the online was slightly different though, because the online did give you that just sort of general skill tree, but I feel like it was designed to be you're playing it with 4 people, and kind of everyone focuses on one or the other to a certain degree.
Yeah,
but otherwise, yeah, I did appreciate the system, and I actually thought, like, I don't know how much it translated when you were actually in combat or whatever, but if you look at the numbers, it would go from like, if when you were level 4, you'd have like 80 to 85 damage or something, and it would go up to like 86 to 91. Like, it's not huge jumps, but in comparison, usually games are like they'll give you 1 more attack point. I don't know, felt like it was actually giving me a decent amount.
Yeah, no, it does. And then eventually too, like the new thing in this game is things have quality ratings. So me and Keith have been playing a lot of Diablo 4 here, and I've been like, ooh, you can refine them too. So I was like, ooh, I want the better affixes because I got daggers and I got lifesteal, and I was like, oh boy, I don't want to re-roll this because I don't want to get something else. But yeah, you can actually re-roll your weapons to get better attributes on them. And it was giving me some Diablo vibes. So yeah, I'm hitting a truck now because I've rolled one of my daggers as a really good stats.
Nice.
But yeah, the online, like as Key said, it's a little bit different, but the great thing is you're leveling up a character. And so you can commit your character to a town. So at first I was committed to Keys Town. I got my character to level 14, but then I was like, oh, Liz was starting her own. So I moved out of Keys Town and moved into Liz, and I carried my character level. So I still the exact same character. I didn't have my items, but I still had all the skill points and everything I was doing. And that's the great thing about this online too. This is what I was talking about. The online is really good because it's a different enough game where it feels fresh. It's not just I'm playing the same game with more people. It actually like the game mode is different. Like the story and the single player one is you're kind of helping this town with their crisis that are going on. In the online version, it's very much this town's in shambles. You guys are picking as a team. What do we want to fix? Do we want to fix the saloon up? Like the saloon's kind of ruined. Oh, we want to build a new structure. There's a salvage yard that needs to get built. So you're picking as a team as what you're doing. And like you all are running around gathering your own resources. Like it still plays very similar, obviously. It's just like how it's done is just different enough. And same when you're doing like dungeon runs. Do you want to play it solo? Do you want to invite your friends for different loot? Like it actually had different loot depending if you brought friends with you. It was actually a really cool feature. Like it was actually really fun to play in a different way. Because I thought it was just gonna be the same thing. Like, and it's just like, oh, that's gonna be kind of lame. There was another thing. I
said all of that earlier.
I know. Well, there was. I'm also saying this because I'm trying to remember. There was a point I wanted to bring up with the online. Oh, and the other great thing with the online, your friend doesn't need to be on. So I moved into Liz's town. Liz doesn't have to be on. If Liz was off, but she was like, "Hey, we're building the ranch. We need a bunch of wood." I could sign on, just start gathering the wood now, and then Liz can sign on, and then it's like, cool, we can progress our story. Like, so you can do the busy work when your friend's off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I can't remember if I put it in the Discord or not. Did I tell you it sends me a letter when you left the town? Or it sent me a letter when you I got a little fluffy. Sorry to tell you that I'm leaving this town. Before I left, I sold all my assets and left you all my gold, which might be helpful for your life and work. The days spent with you will always be in the deepest chamber of my heart. Hope you have a wonderful life in Sandrock. Goodbye.
Cute.
I did not write that letter. You would not be the bottom of my heart.
Which it's such a stupid little thing, and I think the first one did it too, but I liked that you could respond to letters.
Yeah.
But what I really liked the most about it is like your best friend, you get this letter from your best friend and they're like, oh my God, I miss you. And there's this and I did
it's
this.
Like
and
6 pages.
And then you send
a
paragraph of like 2 sentences. It's like, that is... You are clearly not as good of a friend as your other friend is. They seem to be more into you than you are into them. Maybe that's why you moved away.
I laughed at that too. It's literally 6 pages. At first I was like reading it, then I was like, okay, I'm really bored of this. Because there's like, oh, and then I went and I made a sandbox and then I did this. And I was like, okay, I don't care anymore.
And I went to your house, but you're not there because you don't live there anymore.
And my character spotted that
weird?
Cool story, bro. And just set that off.
I went and I smelled your pillow. It still smells like you.
So we know
I found
what
some
kind
of your hair.
Texter Andrew is.
Yeah. We've had this discussion before. I'm a texter. Liz is a phone call person.
No, but I mean, like
efficient.
some people send like long paragraphs via text.
You've been married me to a while. You know how I respond.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're like the main character. Wait, so I'm really curious. What are the other things you didn't like about the game?
The things, well, my complaints, these are the very similar complaints I had with the first one as well, my time at Porsche. So graphics. I mean, do we want to talk more about gameplay? Because now for the graphics.
I think we're good on gameplay. Oh, actually, other than fun little trick, I guess, if you want to play solo online, open your game up to public and then just back out or don't back out. I don't know if you have to. And then you can just kick people and then it leaves you all their gold. So
that's an easy way to farm by kicking people out.
I did it kind of by accident because I had set my game to open and I didn't realize it. And then I looked and there was like 2 people and I was like, I don't want you in my town. So I kicked them out and then I got a letter from them and they sent me all their gold too. So thanks.
There's a pro tip,
Dang.
I guess.
So I'm assuming one of the things you're going to talk about with graphics is the size of your weapons when you run. Because you were making fun of that when.
Well, no, because this is all minor. That's obviously art style choice. The proportions of this game are so weird. One of the romanceable characters we talked about was Elsie, which is so they don't give ages for any of the characters in this game, and she is a very small girl. And to me, I swear she was a child. but she is romanceable. And there's one time where I'm riding a horse with her and I'm like, this looks weird. This looks like I should be on some sort of registry because my character is large. She is like someone who's barely up to my chest. And we're riding a horse the horse is massive. It's a weird looking picture. It's just the proportions in this game are off. Like even the weapons are like twice the size of you.
Yeah, I thought Elsie was a child as well.
No, she's romanceable, and which is weird because that same segment story mission I'm on, she says, I'm legally an adult. And I'm like, that's a weird phrase because that can mean a lot of things. Legal adult is very different in a lot of different places. So I don't know what that means.
But they actually have a child in the game though. So you can
They have two. There's two children, Jasmine and Pebble.
But that's why I knew right away that she was at least a teenager. Like I knew she wasn't a kid, but also
teenager-ish.
I mean, I know women who are over 6 feet. I'm 5'3".
But it's not just about height. It's about the mannerisms that they give her. I think that immediately to me were like, oh, those are childlike mannerisms.
I would say 14 to 16 is her age.
That would have been my guess. But yeah, I feel like they put that line in there as like hey, it's not weird.
Yeah.
Legally an adult.
Yeah.
Whatever age you think Elsie is, that's
legal
decision. But we're putting it in writing here that it is legal.
Which is weird because like I said, like some places in Europe, like I think Germany, 14's considered a legal adult, but it's like that's weird. Sorry,
so
Germans.
the only I guess kind of weird thing I can say to that kind of anecdotally is my sister who got married at 19, she was offered a children's menu. I think I've told this story before on an episode, but she was offered a children's menu on her honeymoon. And so like it is possible that someone can very much look young enough to not be an adult and still very much be an adult, but it's a weird thing to put in a video game when you get to design how the characters are and to intentionally design a character that looks very childlike but is very supposed to be not a child is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it at that.
But anyway, no, that's still not the complaint I have. What I have for the graphics are the environment is generally very flat. It's generally, I should say, textures. So overall, when you look at the world around you, it's generally very flat and bland looking. There's a couple mini games where it kind of teleports you to area and it's just a flat plane. And it's just like, this is kind of ugly looking. And then the textures, when you look close at things, super muddled. It's really bad.
Soup.
Yeah. Well, the soup, I guess.
No, there was a cutscene. You know the Grace? When she accidentally like burned down the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then you go in and she's in the kitchen and it is like the worst graphic food I think I've ever seen in a game.
Liz, it's water textures we're looking for, not soup textures.
I love Liz's face of soup.
Yeah, I know, because I remembered it because she was like stirring it, but it was like it didn't even look like the graphics elsewhere in the game.
But no, for me, the thing that really just it affected gameplay. Like you said, I'm at a part where I'm trying to investigate the bandit Logan. You go to his house and you're looking at pictures, and the pictures, I swear, are just made out of like 8 pixels. I cannot see what's in this picture. It's like, oh, it's a picture of a wedding night, and there's Owen in the background. I'm like, I can't see a thing. It is just muddled mess. And so you're supposed to click on things in the picture to get clues. I'm literally just mashing A. And it has a clue counter in the corner telling me that I'm finding the clues. So I'm like, all right, cool. Because I can't see anything. I don't know what this picture is. It's pretty rough. And they had the same issue with My Time at Portia. So they didn't fix it. But I mean, like, character models are good. Clothing designs are good. Like, I liked the art style. Like I said, this takes place a couple years, like 100 years after the world kind of ended. So everything's kind of post-apocalyptic, but not. Like, so things are kind of like ramshackled and like boards stapled on boards and things being used that aren't like they're meant to be their purpose. I like the art style of it. It's just, some of it's just kind of ugly looking.
It's one of those things that it feels like it could be a very early Xbox One release.
It's
graphically.
Not. This game's been out for, I think, 1.5 years.
No, I know that it's not. And that's where it's one of those things that I'm never super critical about by any means, but they're not great. It works fine for what the game is because it's really a gameplay driven type of game. Like This isn't Senua where it's practically art mixed with a little bit of game there, whereas this is just it's a fun game. It doesn't have to look good.
But like I said, it affected gameplay for me.
And that's fair. And because I didn't get to any of those, it seems more like a nuisance than anything, because it seems like it's at least you were able to get around it with just a little bit of button mashing, but it doesn't make it more fun and it doesn't make it good. It just, at least it doesn't like hold you up too much, it sounds like.
And then the other thing is an audio, which was also an issue of My Time at Portia. Luckily, it's not that bad. My Time at Portia, I remember, it's like drilled in my brain. There's some creatures that had the worst death sounds. I'm pretty sure I put it in the My Time at Portia episode, but it was like those weird penguin characters. They had the annoying sound. And this one still has some pretty annoying sounds. On the weekends, you can inspect things. It's a new minigame where not a new minigame, it's from the first one, but it's a minigame where you inspect things. Whenever you complete it, it has this goofy trumpet sound. It's like, but it's like off key. It's so weird.
I keep forgetting to do that because I'm finally the level and I just haven't been paying attention to the day of the week.
And then the voice acting's hit or miss.
Yeah, like, was it Grace that?
Yeah,
that
Grace's voice was annoying. Yeah, she sounded like an old woman, even though she looked like she was supposed to be in her 20s. Venti's voice acting is also not great. So some of the voice acting isn't great. And some of the music too it's fine. Like the generic music going on is fine. But yeah, there's just some audio stuff that was kind of getting on my nerves.
I will say I left the home. I was just going to say homepage. That's not right. The title page. Whatever it is. I left it up and I was like, just like cleaning up a little bit. And I was like, oh my gosh, that
it's
needs
loud.
to be turned off. Yeah, it was just,
loud.
and it's also just like, there's something about it that's like, I can only listen to it for about a minute. And then I was like, no.
Yeah. Do you have any other complaints on the audio?
Not really. I actually played a lot of it on mute. There were just points I just didn't have a headset on at all because I was fine without anything.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, I will say there is a lot of voice acting in this game, which I remember we complained about the first one that it didn't have voice acting. The PC version had it because I remember we learned that apparently they didn't pay the voice actors. And so that's why they didn't have voice acting in the console versions of My Time at Portia. So it's nice to know this time around they have voice acting for both the PC and console version. And I at least like that there's voice acting. I'd rather have voice acting that doesn't quite match the character as opposed to just silence. It makes the game and story more engaging and the characters more engaging. So
I
give it points for that.
accidentally muted the TV and I actually regret it. Like I was like, I need to turn this back on. I actually enjoyed listening to the game. So. And then, of course, we have achievements, which I did not look up any achievements when I was playing. Without looking at achievements, I feel like I put an hour into it, right?
Many an hour.
Many hours into it.
I think up to like 12, I think I saw.
I got 150 out of 1,000 gamer score with 7 out of 30 achievements. Keith, 60 and 3. And then Andrew, 495 and 19 achievements.
Yeah, there's a couple I could knock out right away, but it
makes sense because Keith's been doing a lot of the online too.
Yeah,
where I think a lot of them are story progression, right? Or no?
Yeah, there's a fair amount that are.
Yeah.
There's some that are like crossover or that have the same things, like picking up amounts of trash and things like that.
It's a couple weird. So obviously there's like social events that happen in this game, and it's weird. There's like 2 achievements that are tied to the social events. One is to get like a perfect dance score, or be first place on the hard difficulty in dancing, which, fun fact, is actually glitched. Liz played on easy and she got first place. I played on normal and got first place, and it still gives you the achievement. So you don't have to play on the hardest difficulty and win. So that one's glitched for you, which is great. But there was another one.
I love that you played it for me, though, so I could get a share.
Yeah. But besides that, the other achievements are, being friends with so many people. Overall, this actually, I would say that for a cozy game, this is a decent one for achievement hunters. They're actually pretty easy to get. Once you get the ball rolling with relationships with people, it starts to go pretty easily. So I think you can easily 1,000 this game. There's nothing that's like, I hate when it's like catch every available fish and there's 200 fish. That's such a grind.
Which, is there just sandfish in this game?
Yeah, I love you're in the middle of the desert and this game still gives you fishing, but it's like fish that swim in the sand. It's like, all right.
Mort likes the salted fish, so I like to fish a little bit.
But time to beat, you're looking at 78 and a half hours for the main story and 110 for the side stuff. So yeah, there's a lot here. But I will say I do love the pop culture. I don't know if you guys got the pop culture references in this game.
I never do.
I saw a couple. One is an achievement. When you water so many plants, it's what plants crave, which is from the movie Idiocracy when they talk about brown dough. That's what plants crave. And then there's another achievement, or no, not achievement. There was I got a letter. You're supposed to make shoes for animals. And the guy writes a letter about a crazy friend who tried to make mittens for kittens, which is an Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. And then there was another one. It's a Mighty Python. You're insulting somebody, and it's the Mighty Python reference where the French soldiers say like your mother's a hamster and your father smells like gooseberries.
Yeah, elderberries.
Elderberries, yeah. You can actually say a version of that as an insult to somebody. So I saw that. So there's a couple little pop culture references that always kind of made me chuckle. But yeah, overall it's pretty decent for achievement hunters. So let's get into our final thoughts here. I'll go first. My time at Sandrock. If you played My Time at Portia and you didn't like it, you will not like this game. I don't think this game is going to change your mind if you didn't care for My Time at Portia. I think this game did enough to mix it up. Like, that's the thing. The studio could have easily just been like, hey, exact same game, there it is, and copy and paste the characters. But there's enough in here that's changed that makes it feel fresh. Because that's the thing too. I didn't know if I'd like this game because I thought it would just be like, well, it's just My Time at Portia, just different location. But I actually found this game to be just different enough. But I don't feel like I can't go back to My Time at Portia. I feel like if I go back there, I'd still just have much fun. It's not one of those games where like, oh, there's so much change in this one, I could never go back to the original. It sucks. No, they're very different games in their own. You don't need to play My Time at Portia. There's some references to the town, but it's not like, oh, you'll get this reference if you played that game. They're their own separate games. You could pick either or of these games. There's still a lot of fun. This game luckily has a lot of great quality of life improvements. The online portion of My Time at Sandrock is a lot of fun to play with your friends. And like I said, your friends don't have to be online. You guys can keep working on your town separately. This is a very fun game. Graphics are still a little rough. Some of the audio kind of is not that great, but overall I got sucked into this game. I've been playing a whole bunch. I think it's a lot of fun. It's not just a typical farming game. You're just building stuff, and it's a nice change of pace. I will give it an 89.
Okay. So I slightly disagree with you. You said if you didn't like My Time at Portia, that My Time at Sandrock wasn't going to change your mind. And I didn't really like My Time at Portia, but I actually did prefer My Time at Sandrock. Maybe just, again, 4 years between the two games is something that has changed me as a gamer and all of the things like that. But overall, I thought it was a nice enough improvement where it just felt like a smoother, better gameplay. Like, yes, obviously we joke about me not building enough furnaces and things like that in the first one. But beyond that, I do think that this just seemed to have simple little quality of life things. And it does all of the things that at least I personally tend to ask for in builder games, good inventory management, which it took us a while to remember this. You can go and buy more inventory slots in your bag. So use up your gold on that early on.
Yep.
And don't be like us and run around with the same 45 slots wondering why you can't ever pick anything up.
Yeah, we struggled.
But yeah, I think it had enough quality of life that, yes, if you hated My Time at Portia, you won't do anything here. But if you just didn't really get into it, but I don't know, you were willing to give it a shot or whatever, I think there's something to be said for this versus the other. Again, not knowing what I gave the other one, I do have a game for Sandrock here. I think as far as a score, I'd probably just did a solid 80. Sounds good.
I really wish I knew what I gave the other one.
But this is a 98.
I mean, it was early enough on. We might have given it like, an A+ and a ham sandwich.
Yeah, we probably done
or something like that.
Yeah. Well, because I was torn between 94 and 95. I think I'm going to give it a 94.
Ooh, did I lower you?
No, I just I don't know. Maybe I should give it a 95. I don't know. I'm going to give it a 90. I'm going to give it a 95.
94 and a half.
A 95. Because maybe I gave the other one a 94. I don't know. 95. I love games like this, of course. And I can't get enough of it. It's, kids' bedtime. And I'm like, let's start gaming.
Start building.
So look at Metacritic, TBD, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing really. A couple critic reviews, and that's about it for Xbox. So nothing.
Is it TBD for Xbox or no? Because even then, it's been on Xbox for like a year. That's surprising.
I don't know.
But anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up here.
Now I'm second guessing myself.
Do you want me to look it up for you, Liz?
No, it's
fine.
To
do your job?
No, it's fine.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please make sure you check out our wonderful sponsor, magicmind.com/GameP, and use our promo code GameP20 for a discount. I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird1952. Thank you to all our Patreon members, Nerd Talk Plus, Squid Kill, PTS Daddy. Love you guys. We'll try to get more content out as soon as we can. We've had a very busy schedule, as usual. But if you have any game suggestions, please go to GamePassGrabBag.com or Linktree/GPGB and tell us what you think. Oh, I keep forgetting to say this. David Spare, if you are listening, my friend, thank you so much for commenting on our Spotify. You keep telling us to play Biomutant. I'm sorry, man. Biomutant is not on Game Pass. If it ever comes to Game Pass, we will do Biomutant day one. But you don't have to keep writing out all our episodes to keep playing Biomutant. It's not on Game Pass. I'm sorry, man. But we will get to it as soon as it's Game Pass. But yeah.
Is it coming to Game Pass?
I don't know. He's wrote on like 10 episodes for us to play Biomutant. That's his favorite game.
Maybe we should do Patreon.
Maybe. He absolutely loves Biomutant. I'm glad that you found a game that you love, man, but it's unfortunately not on Game Pass. So give us a game recommendation on Game Pass. We'll play that. Go ahead, Keith.
I've been Keith. Man, I've got nothing. I mean, I never have anything anyways, but I've really got nothing this week. That's it.
All
right. And I'm Liz Tech coming on Dean. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at LizWW, and I'll probably be gone for a little while.
Yeah, this is going to be Liz's last episode for a while. We are having a baby soon.
Yeah.
So she will be out. So we get some guests on. Yeah. Apology accepted. But yeah, so we'll try to get some guests on. Me and Keith might actually take a little bit of a break too, but we'll see. We're trying to get more people on here.
I mean, if you guys start playing games that are like Liz games, I mean, might be forced back.
We might be able to entice you back on for some episodes.
Yeah, if you guys get desperate for a third person, just pick something.
I feel like there's some that are hanging around. I played a little bit of, is it Humankind? Not Humankind. Humanity. You might like that one. It's like a little bit of Lemmings.
No, Keith, she doesn't like puzzle games. How do you not know this about Liz? We just covered this.
I know, but Lemmings were cute and fun back in the day. Be all right. That's a puzzle game. Scratch that. Scratch Humanity.
Oh, man.
They're just relaxing.
So tell Liz that you miss her. Maybe she'll come back sooner. But thank you all for joining us. We hope you all will see you again next week.